Thank you for tuning in to Rosette or Thornet, where I will be critiquing Shuten Doji's character skins and giving my review and rating on them. The rating scale would be from 1 to 5, with 5 being the best and 1 being the worst. If it goes below 1, it will be fed to my wild and thorny rose bushes. Caution: if you do not like spoilers or stories, please skip ahead to the character skins of Shuten Doji. Onmyoji is full of characters that come from and inspired by Asian folklore, and that would include Shuten Doji. Here is the tale of Shuten Doji from Japanese folklore. There are only a few monsters regarded as the greatest and most malevolent yokai. Among them is Shuten Doji, the feared ruler of the Oni. In some versions of the tale, Shuten Doji wasn't an Oni at birth. Many tales exist regarding his origins, but the majority state that he was once a human boy born in what is now either Shiga or Toyama more than a millennium ago. His father was a legendary dragon, Yamada no Orochi, and his mother was a human woman. The transformation from boy to demon is shown in many different ways and different stories, but the most popular one is as follows. There once was a young child who possessed a supernatural strength and intelligence for his age. Because of his extraordinary strength and intellect, everyone around him continuously referred to him as a demon child. And over time, he became incredibly antisocial and resentful of other people. His mother abandoned him when he was 6 years old. After becoming an orphan, he trained to be a monk at Mount Hiei in Kyoto. He was the youngest and strongest of the acolytes, and he became resentful of them. As a result, he stopped studying and started fighting. He also started drinking, which was against monastic rules. Nevertheless, he was able to outdrink anybody who was prepared to sit down and take a seat against him. His love of alcohol earned him the nickname Shuten Doji, or the Little Drunkard. At the temple, there was a festival one evening, and Shuten Doji arrived, quite inebriated. Wearing an Oni mask, he played practical jokes on his fellow priests, scaring them by leaping out of the shadows. He tried to remove his mask at the end of the night, but to his astonishment, it refused to leave his body. Fearful, Embarrassed and chastised by his overlords for being drunk, he ran away into the mountains to avoid having to deal with people whom he perceived as feeble, naive, and hypocritical. He spent many years living there on the outskirts of Kyoto, robbing the locals of their food and alcoholic beverages, and indulging in copious amounts of liquor. Eventually, groups of robbers and criminals were drawn to his banditry. These individuals remained faithful to him and formed the core of his gang. During his banishment, Shuten Doji gained strength and wisdom. He taught his thugs strange black sorcery, which he had mastered. He befriended Ibaraki Doji, a fellow demon child who later served as his chief servant. The young man and his group soon developed into a full clan of Oni and yokai criminals that stalked the roads and terrorized the residents of Kyoto in a drunken rage. Over time, the group gradually changed into Oni. He and his group ultimately made their way to Mount Oe, where he planned to take over the capital and establish himself as emperor in a dark castle. Throughout Kyoto, Shuten Doji and his group abducted noble virgins and consumed them. At last, a group of brave warriors, under the command of the legendary Minamoto no Yorimitsu, attacked Shuten Doji's palace. With the use of a sorcerer's poison, they managed to attack the Oni gang while they were intoxicated. The head of the drunken Shuten Doji was severed, but the head was still alive and tried to bite at Minamoto no Yorimitsu, which makes me think of the head or mask or glowing orb that Ibaraki Doji carries in his hand or rests his foot on. It is probably the head of his fallen comrade, Shuten Doji, and might be why he says he is going to get revenge when you click on certain skins. Now, as for his role in Onmyoji, just like in the legend, he was an orphan with special abilities, and a monk invited him to dwell inside a temple, and he was called the Divine Child, and he went on to accumulate a group of bandits with one that stood out among them all, which is Ibaraki Doji, and Ibaraki is like his right-hand man. Pun intended if anyone gets it. But in Onmyoji, back when Shuten was a divine child living inside a temple frequented by monks and people would come to worship him, and he stayed at the temple until he got tired of hearing people's troubles. He left to follow the path of demons in the mountains, and he joined them, and his appearance began to change into a demon. He then saw a giant being called a mountain god that crushed everything in sight, and when it tumbled and almost fell into the flames, Shuten Doji took his prayer beads and chanted some sutras, and it saved the giant, and he told the giant he wants him to be his throne. And I guess that might be why we see the SP version of Shuten Doji sitting on a giant hand. Now, as for Minamoto no Yorimitsu, in Onmyoji, he seems like more of a bad guy, or anti-hero in a way, that's trying to purge Shuten Doji and his group of bandits, and he used a yokai from Shuten's own group to do it. The guy is called Onikiri, and Yorimitsu totally went and brainwashed the guy and hid the guy's memories. Minamoto no Yorimitsu did cut off Shuten Doji's head, just like in the folklore. He did it while Shuten Doji dealt a big blow to Onikiri, and that was all he needed to catch Shuten Doji off guard. Now, there is more to the story, but it would prolong this video, and I will make a video on Onikiri and Minamoto no Yorimitsu in the future someday, because it goes deeper where the spell on Onikiri was broken, and he finds out that Minamoto no Yorimitsu basically sealed his memories, and that Onikiri was killing his own people, and later on found out that Yorimitsu did an experiment on him, where Yorimitsu's blood is inside of him. And I think you can guess the rest for now, Because just think about what you would do if you found out that you were scammed in the biggest way, and it led to bloodshed from a person that altered you to be his blade in battle against your own kind. In the folklore, there are many versions of this story, and there is even a movie that is a little bit similar to the story of Shuten Doji in Ibaraki Doji, and it is called Demon of Mount Oe, and it was created in 1960. It even had Kidomaru in this movie, but the tale goes very differently, with only a few similarities. But anyway, I just wanted to give you some background about this character and the inspiration behind it. And yes, I know Onmyoji switches up things while some things stay the same, and I might be wrong in some areas, and that's because the scrolls are vague sometimes. That's why I feel like reading the folklores fill in some of the blanks when I read the memory scrolls in the game. I will go more into detail in future videos, but I had to add this in here because all of their stories kinda go together, and I felt like I can't leave out Yorimitsu, Ibaraki, and Onikiri. Now, moving on to the character skin critiques and ratings. Shuten Doji, the fruity skin. Shuten Doji, default skin.
Then Doji is here. That's the one.
This is gonna sound irrelevant, but I felt like adding this in here. So let me start off by saying that my co-critiquer, when he saw this character, he instantly thought of Gaara from Naruto, and now I can see the similarities because they both have red hair and a big light brown object behind them. Shuten has a huge monstrous sake bottle, and the kanji on his bottle means sake or alcohol, and Gaara uses his gourd to hold his son that he controls. What I like about this skin is that he has the big red bushy hair in a high ponytail. He wears a half-modded robe with his chest exposed, and that huge sake monster bottle. I kind of don't like the half breastplate that covers his right pec. He should have been fully bare-chested. For a default, I think this looks pretty good, and I give it 4 roses. Striking red with a deep dark purple is a nice color combo as well. Mysterious purple. The skin is called mysterious purple with no purple in sight, but it might be called that because if you mix red and blue together, it makes purple. I like him with blonde hair, but I think the red should have been changed so it can be a full recolored default. I know red is like the main favorite color for many Asian countries, but I would have liked to have seen it changed to something else. And also, I like that the almost colored silver with this one. Maybe the red could have been changed to silver or pastel yellow to go with the blonde. Maybe. 3 roses. Evolution. The color of his ribbons and fire design on his robe is the color I wanted for his mysterious purple skin, because it would have went great with his blonde hair. And the blonde hair from mysterious purple would have looked better with his evolution skin. You see? Am I right? Can you vision it? Moving right along. I also like that his skin is darker with his evolution skin. I wish it was his main skin color because he has several skins that I feel like it would go great with. 4 roses. A Song of Wine. When my co-critiquer saw this one, he said too much is going on, which is funny to me, but for some reason, I don't mind it. To be honest, what I like most about this is his huge Shuten, but the color of it reminded me of oddly shaped pumpkins and squashes, and some sake bottles, or more refined to mimic calabash that has been gorged out to make a bottle. These are the gourd-shaped bottles that you usually see in certain Asian games, and sometimes fighting games, especially characters that do drunken kung fu. The skin has an evergreen vibe to it, and I like how his chest is exposed as usual. The colors just remind me of the different colors of pumpkins, squashes, and calabashes, even though I think more lavender should have been added, just a little bit, somewhere else. If you look closely, his sash is in the shape of a heron or a crane's wing, and he also has them at the end of his robe, engraved into his bottle, and his armor is in the shape of a bird. His whole outfit is like a song, probably why it was named A Song of Wine. The birds on his shoulder armor and legs are my favorite. I really wanted to give this a 5, but I really feel like more lavender should have been added. It's just in one place only. Other than that, this is very extraordinary. 4 roses. Demonic Lord. Demonic Lord.
The Lord of Mount Oe is back. That's the one.
The wild red mane of hair, the tattoos, the pinstripe hakama, the color combo, the way his top is folded down, the sash, the face on the Shuten, everything is on point. I think the darker skin from his evolution skin would have looked nice as well on this skin. This gets automatically 5 roses. By the way, the Onmyoji RPG version of this skin has a different name than this skin. This skin's folded top is black, while the RPG version of this skin has an inner white folded top. That's about the only difference I see with both versions. Yoidore Melody.
最強のあやかしに限界などない。俺様の戦意が燃え上がる。聞こえたか。戦の声だ。お前らの実力見せてみろ。
Drunken Melody. I feel the same way about the RPG version as I do the arena version, and with this one you can see that it's a white folded top instead of a black folded top. 5 roses. Drunken Song. This one just not feeling it. About the only thing I like about it is the gold writing moving on the black fabric, and his Shuten is made out of green jade. Everything else is like, meh. He almost looks like a bizarre traveling medicine seller if you didn't know it was a liquor bottle behind him. He has that anime merchant look to him. This skin actually reminds me of Kusori. Yes, I know they don't look alike and Onmyoji did a collab with Mononoke, but I'm just saying that Drunken Song has that traveling merchant look, like a snake oil salesman of sorts. 3 roses. Doomsday Highway.
This is Packetson.
This is gonna sound so random, but when I saw that crop top, what popped into my head was Melise Miser. Gagged in them damn crop tops, but anyway, is it 5 worthy? Yeah. I feel like it needed more. 4 roses. I just feel like it needed more, like some more exaggeration, bigger spikes, some low-hanging chains, dripping down low, rock star boots, low-hanging straps, or no crop top at all. Take it all off and let me see your chest again. On the floor. Unrestrained skies.
They not gonna like me for this.
This is a collab skin between Onmyoji Arena and Bud Light. It's a laid-back teenage high schooler graffiti artist look. There's not much to say about this because he's supposed to look like a graffiti artist just hanging out with his best bud, Ibaraki Doji. But to be honest, it's... I like the bottle with the graffiti on it and the blue strap on his leg, which I feel like it would have looked better if there was 2 blue straps and have them longer and hanging from the pants up top like straps. I also feel like his vest and pants could have been edgier with some artwork on them, like some paint splatters or some sort of art. Maybe some wide pants would have helped it out more.
Also, that DJ scratch sound was created by a black man. Y'all know damn well y'all could have made a black character by now, but keep making this urban hip hop stuff for Asian characters that can go for Caucasian most of the time. And that DJ scratch sound that people have copied all over the world was created by a black man called Theodore Livingston. Moving right along. What?
Exactly. Yoidore Shanti. Drunken Shanty. First off, shanty means a small, crudely built shack, so I'm guessing that's why he looks disheveled. I honestly don't know what to say. I'm so perplexed. I think there is too much going on with his bottle. This time, I don't enjoy the tattered clothing. The snakes appear to be dispersed randomly. I feel like the white and faded purple snakes would have looked better on an actual heavy shikigami, like Orochi or Kiyohime or some serpent shikigami. My co-critiquer gave this a 4, but...
I'm sorry, y'all.
Bridging method. Blazing metal. The outfit is okay. I like the hair, horns, armored belt, and his padded armored Oni sake bottle with the eyes and horns to match. I feel like more could have been done to the shoulder area and head. Maybe add a samurai armored helmet that looks similar to a sake bottle. I'm kind of tired of seeing armor on one side, but none on the other side to match. Before you jump down my throat, let me bring up why I say this. I come from a website where almost every time they make a Japanese item for our avatars, they always make something great for one side of the avatar and not the other side. Like for instance, they would make a kimono with decorations and long sleeves on one side, and the other side has nothing on it at all. So over time, I'm just tired of seeing it at this point when I go to other games. I think it would have looked better if another red Oni was on his other shoulder and with a padded armored headdress with some eyes on it. It would have juiced this up some more. I know people saying I'm being really nitpicky, but come on people, it's a critique. Overall, it's still a nice skin. These are just opinions. My fave thing about his bottle is that when you turn it, it has some animated sharp lines coming from the eyes. 4 roses. Blazing Shogun. Blazing Shogun. The armor is balanced. His bottle looks like a haunted samurai. I feel like he should have had the same headdress that his skeletal samurai bottle has. It's like the only thing missing from this that would have made this a 5 for me, and the helmet that his bottle has is what I wanted his blazing metal skin to have. Todoroki Shishi. Roaring lion. The details, the hair, the tattoos on his feet and chest, the outfit and the bottle, black nails and headdress are very intricate and fascinating, especially the yellow stuff coming out of the bottle's mouth and the haunted glowing yellow eyes. When I saw the face on the bottle, it reminded me of... But the face of his bottle actually looks like a karajishi, which is a Chinese lion, or komaino, and they tend to look like a mix between a dog and lion. The entire skin is decked down with embellishments. 5 roses. Shuten Doji.
俺様にはもっと大事な用があるんだ。
Demoniac Shuten Doji. Him sitting on the flaming hands makes him look like a boss. The 2 primary things about this that I enjoy are the large sashes that have decorations hanging from them and the kimono that is folded down to show his chest. However, there's something about it that prevents me from giving it a 5. There seems to be something missing. Kamino Bay. This one really goes with his storyline. On the left you have his Buddhist divine child background, and on the other side is his demonic transformation into a demon. He appears to even be wearing a mask, just like in the folklore. The left has Buddhist prayer beads with Sanskrit written on them, and on the right you have the dark hand with the crimson claws. I think the skin would have looked better if everything was split down the middle, so it can be fully light and dark, like a yin-yang of sorts, starting with the Oriole circle in the back and his hakama. One pant leg could have been white and the other black, and half of the Oriole behind him could have been half dark. Same goes for the hair. The other side could have been blonde or white to go with the light side and the other black. I also feel like the sleeves could have been balanced on both sides, and half of his skin could have been the same color as the mask. The hands look good and very detailed with the beads and the claws. The gold and red decorations hanging from the kimono are a nice addition as well. I like the armor on the fish, but the colors for this entire character skin is very blonde. This skin is called the Chromatic Champion, but maybe it should have been actually chrome. I think a fully chrome skin in a game like this would have blew this out of the ballpark. It would have been bizarre. His half robe and tattoos are okay. What is clever about this is that instead of his huge sake bottle, he is floating above a sakazuki with some stuff surrounding it that mimics liquid, since he is a drunk. And he has a fish floating on top of the liquid. The fish kinda upstages him, in my opinion. Most of the detail went into the fish instead of on the character. Maybe if he had more champagne golden armor on him or as a headdress, maybe it would have judged this up a bit and the colors would have worked. Right now it just looks like it's kind of blonde, especially with the colors. Ciasto, l'azeluto. Chaste, resolute. Judging from the name and look, this is supposed to be his purse skin, where I guess he is in his divine state. For a floating throne, I think there's too much happening around it. I like the color of it, and the golden nails, but I don't feel like it needed the arms coming out of the lotus. As pretty as the lotus is with the blue bird inside of it, I feel like it should have been on the hand or his outfit somewhere instead of randomly floating behind the hand, or have the white hand coming out of the lotus. Can you envision it? A hand coming out of a giant golden lotus would have made his throne look so much better in my opinion. The hand is making a mudra hand signal. This character skin I think might be very Buddhist and Indian inspired, especially the hand symbolism and his outfit. I think he would have looked smexy if his hair was long, dark, black and straight instead of it always flowing up and wavy for almost every skin. His outfit is I also think the dark skin from his SSR evolution skin would have looked best with this one.
I know. In a certain continent, darker skin is frowned upon.
But I really do think he would have looked better with long, dark, straight hair with darker skin. The hand he's sitting on might be the mountain god's hand that I mentioned earlier, and it even has broken stairs that might be insinuating that he really did make a throne out of mountain god's hand.
俺様の髪をいじるな。
It's been brought to my attention that I should include the entire Onmyoji verse. So, here are the chords of Shuten Doji from Onmyoji the card game. Announcer, take it away.
シュテンドジ超越
伊吹山の香の匂いがする。俺様の出番か。
進化シュテンドジ
俺様の足元にひれ伏せ。
バカヤマ
諸行無常、俺様が正しい道を示してやろう。
ネバーギブアップ
何もないのか。ただ赤く染まっているだけじゃないか。
デスマッチ
俺様の運命は俺様が決める。
余裕だ
人 人間も鬼も皆ひざまずけ。
本当。
酒を持ってこい。
悪当然。
その面の皮の下で何を企んでるんだ。
ダークバース。
この世に神子はもういない。鬼たちよ、俺様に従え。
神々しいな。
神子が主情をサイドするなら、俺様をサイドするのは誰だ。
酔っ払いのインスピレーション。
酒を持ってこい。お前は本当に俺様を怒らせた。
リーバーンサイルード。
俺様に挑戦したいのかい？さらに強くなってやるぜ。さらに強くなってやるぜ。
レモンパレード。
俺様の名を知らぬ者などこの世にいない。
ほうほう。
酒を飲むのを邪魔するな。
エンドレスの怒り。
その罪、死をもって償え。
This will conclude Shuten Doji's character skin critiques and ratings. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already.